It's evolved a lot, I think, in the last couple of years. I mean, a lot of people think about this as now being a geopolitical officer or a geoeconomic officer, all of those things. I mean, certainly as the world has changed, and for a company like PepsiCo, which is, people think of us as a large beverage company, and we are, but we're an even larger food company, which means we're part of the food system around the world. And food is critical infrastructure, which means that we need to make sure that we're involved in looking at supply chains, agricultural production, all of which has politics involved in one form or another. So my job and the job of my team around the world is really to keep a very close eye on what's happening around the politics, the moving shifts in the dynamics that are taking place between governments in countries around all of this, and really try and make sense of all of the noise. It's a turbulent world that we live in, and part of my role is to try and figure out what the patterns are that are demonstrating what the next 5 years, even 10 years of the company could look like, so the company can make smart investment decisions about the future. So yes, the role of corporate affairs has certainly evolved over the last few years. The first thing is you can't react to everything. Otherwise you'd be spending your entire time reacting to a single social media feed that goes up. And I think part of our role is trying to figure out what is transitory and what is a long-term trend or a pattern that we're seeing around social media. Certainly AI has changed the name of the game when it comes to thinking about search and how we position a company like PepsiCo through it, because now so many people, maybe even the majority, are now looking at Gen AI for their initial searches. So as they put in their search terms, as they look at their criteria, a company like PepsiCo needs to be marketing to machines as much as we're marketing to people around all of this. And this is how we sort of think about that. So where does Gen AI get its information from? Where does it source its search? And then are we showing up in the right kind of feeds and channels that Gen AI is taking its information for? So that's what we're thinking about within the corporate affairs and the communications function of the company. AI is here to stay, and that's for certain. And I think that the first thing that I think everybody's understanding in the company is that PepsiCo is integrating AI really end to end. I mean, we think about from the moment our products are grown by farmers in the fields, and we source 60 crops from 30 countries around the world, which means our footprint and what we deal with farmers is super important. So AI is helping transform the way in which farmers think about increasing their yields, reducing water, reducing pesticides, all the way through to when a product appears on the shelves around. So AI can impact the entire chain. So the first thing we're doing with employees is really making sure they understand that PepsiCo's on the forefront of using AI to make us smarter all the way through of our value chain. That really, at the end of the day, is what is going to make a company like PepsiCo, I think, future fit. And that's where we're going to find productivity and efficiency and around all this and make us a modern company. PepsiCo Foundation's been around for many, many years, and we invest in a number of areas that are critical to what I was talking about earlier, which is food is part of infrastructure. So agricultural production and yields, helping farmers retrain and develop for climate change around that, from smallholder farmers to huge farmers in the US and Canada, where we source major crops. Water, of course, is a critical part of what we need. And then workforce development as well, right? Entrepreneurialism, how people and communities thrive. So PepsiCo Foundation is involved in all of those areas around future, and we work with our partners on the ground in countries from UAE to Saudi Arabia to India to all across the world, and make sure that we're part of solutions development for the future. And what we're looking at the PepsiCo Foundation is how we seed projects that are scalable everywhere around the world. That's the focus of the foundation and our work for the next few years.